мене голос охрип.
Welcome back to tockytube. I'm Tock. Listen, it's been a while. I'm sorry. I was on such a roll, man. I was pumping them out one after another, and then like real life stuff happened. I wasn't feeling well and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, I'm back. Gonna try to get this thing started once again. Listen, the first one we're gonna do on the road back is "Other Side of America" by Meek Mill. One of my favorite artists from Philadelphia, repping 215. So I can kind of relate to some of it. I'm from Germantown, or my family's from Germantown. I live in the suburbs now outside of Philadelphia. But I love the way Meek puts things together. Like, he's like a classic, or just like some of the classic, Philly artists that tell that story. The Philly artists have that story telling side. And some of it is just awesome. So anyway, he put this together. You can feel his passion. You can feel the emotion. You can, even if you don't relate word for word, you can kind of replace it with some things going on in your own life. But you can really just kind of like just go all into it. It's great to bump in the ride. It's just really good stuff. Now, if you listen to the story itself, okay, it's real life, okay, to a lot of people, and it's also examples of Meek's life and what he's come up through. And as you're listening to it, just remember, there are definitely young kids out there right now that are going through the exact same thing right now as we listen to it. And it's unfortunate, but that's part of poverty. It's part of a lot of problems that we have in the country, just in society in general, and obviously in populated inner cities. So let's have a listen. Enjoy it. Oh, this is audio only, so you're gonna have to look at me the whole time. All right. So, all right. Let's see what we got. Let's go.
What do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
It's interesting that he starts out with this with Trump, because I don't know. I really don't know if he's like a Trump supporter or like Kanye or anything like that, but the statistics that he used are fairly accurate, I think. It's just interesting that Trump used that to his advantage, when he was trying to get elected. Like, yeah, what do you have to lose? He's probably right. For so long, nothing's changed for them. But you have to remember them, the folks in poverty living in the city. I guess maybe he's talking about people of color or black people more specifically, but I think that, there's people struggling in all colors. But he used that to his advantage because for so long, it just seems like nothing's ever changed. Well, politicians don't change anything. They just don't. Historically, very few ever have. I don't care if you have a Republican or a Democrat in the city as the mayor. It's not going to change the schools. You can put more money into the schools. It's not going to change the education. It's not going to change the infrastructure. It's not going to change who attends the school, how they behave in school, the supervision, the grades. None of that. It's ridiculous. So I find it interesting that he used that, but it hits home. This is going to be the other side of America, So
we're pulling live from the other side of America.
Mama let me sip the 40. I was just a shorty.
Damn.
Then I started spitting garlic, and they said record me.
Man.
I feel like this shit was for me. This is my story.
To his stories. Mom let him hit the bottle young. Listen, I remember when I was younger, I scored a touchdown. My reward was like a can of Budweiser. It was cool. You got like 3 sips. There's no way you were gonna drink the whole can. At that age. But people were relaxed back then. Shit, you used to be able to still ride around in the back of the pickup truck. Now you get a ticket or arrested for child endangerment. I have no idea. He said, though, this is his story.
Yeah, jump out the porch, I got a porch, no take it back. I'm on the block with the killers and holding my own, of course, yeah. I see my mom and dad separate, ain't talking divorce. Said daddy was living by the fire, and he died by the torch.
So right there, he's basically saying, listen, he's hopping off his porch, he's rolling. If you know anything about the city in Philly, it's all neighborhoods and blocks and basically a lot of row homes, and you have a gate on your porch or your fence and you can just basically hop right over that and you're on the porch. He said he's hanging with the killers and bangers. you know, listening to his family talk about divorce, his father not there, his dad, you know, maybe got killed, living by the fire, died by the torch, and you know, his mom's alone. She probably got to, you know, do her thing, you know, to provide for the family. And what happens? The youth are basically unsupervised.
Living by the fire, and he died by the torch. I'm where the AKs is. We like the baby kids. Ain't have a daddy, I listen to suckers the same way that Ray did. I'm telling Smithers and HKs, and I just was a grade A kid. Ain't no guy, and we grew up with hitters and did everything they said.
Hear that? He's basically saying, hey, yeah, this is a grade A kid. But the problem is that the guidance that he's getting is from the hitters, okay? From the gangbangers. That's the one who's giving the guidance, okay? And he just said, you're a grade A kid, but you grew up doing everything the gangbanger or the hitters did, okay? And it's so important, you know, and this is true for so many people every single day. And then it just continues and continues and continues and continues. It always seems like there's no end in sight. And you have to be, I mean, from a percentage of surviving that and coming out of that to be, you know, to be happy and to, I guess, to build a legacy or the next generation to improve on where you came from, to have a family and, you know, and keep it moving forward. It's got to be tough. I mean, such a percentage die, such a percentage get locked up. I mean, the rates are unreal. And then if you just happen to survive all that, I mean, think about how it's unbelievable. And I guess you really, unless you've gone through some of it, you really truly want to understand.
I'm telling Smithers and HKs, and I just was a grade A kid. Ain't no guy, and we grew up with hitters and did everything they said. Point out the block, we spinning it. Running the spot, we getting it. Give us some work, we flipping it. I'm hitting from jet, I ain't hitting back. I need a lawyer, money for commissary, ain't nobody ain't sending that. I'm in my cell, like when I get out, I'm making a movie, no Cinemax. Who?
So basically saying, listen, we're following the hitters, right? They're basically gonna give us work, right? We're gonna help, with the stash houses. We're gonna help flipping drug money, the whole 9 yards. They're gonna get caught up. They're gonna get put into the bing bing. And he's basically saying, hey, listen, ain't no money for commissary, ain't no help, So it's commissary money is important. I know I've sent a few friends some commissary money. It helps people get through some tough stuff. But he said when he gets out, he's making a movie, but it ain't no Cinemax.
Like when I get out, I'm making a movie, no Cinemax. Who? Yeah. Back home and I'm fresh on bell. Phone chirping, it was next to tell. Block popping, it was extra cell.
Nextel, I don't know, listen, I might be showing my age, but in the mid-90s, like 96, Nextel was hot. I mean, Nextels were everywhere. Every business had it. All the drivers had it. Nextel was awesome. It worked the same way as a cell phone. You had a cell phone number. But then if you wanted to chirp somebody, it's like, chirp, chirp, hey, hey. The problem with Nextel was, though, is that if you had one of your boys that had your Nextel, and you could be, I don't know, you could be in the store, you could be in the hospital, you could be in church, whatever, and it's going to go chirp, chirp. They're going to chirp right through, and they can start yelling whatever they want, through the phone. But, yeah, Nextels, that was awesome. I bet you Nextels worked real well in the hood.
Chirping, it was next to tell. Block popping, it was extra cell. Big dog, they ain't showing remorse. I was begging just to catch a cell. Same block, we was going to war. I was praying I ain't catch a shell. Hey, we ain't starving for 1,000 nights. Living like we trying to die tonight. Glock 40 sound like dynamite. I was fucking up my car money. Selling soap like it's China white. OG said you fucking a block up. I was mad, I was trying to fight. Nigga, we home.
He's basically saying, listen, he was trying to put the work, and he was probably selling some fake Coke or something, whatever, with the soap. And dude's trying to tell him, yo, you messing a block up. He's saying, listen, I'm hungry. I'm trying to get, I need to take care of business. I need to make some ends. So talking about how the 40 sounds like dynamite, and they living like they're trying to die tonight. They ain't trying to die. It's just that, you have nothing to lose. You're doing your thing. You know what I mean? You can't really think about tomorrow. You can't think about next week. You're not thinking about a college education, none of that stuff. You're trying to live to the next day.
I was trying to fight. Nigga, we home. Mommy at work, daddy he dead. Nigga, we home. Stomach growling like an AMG going to bed. We home. Uzi on me, all my friends are dead. Nigga, we home. Report live on the other side of America.
Did you hear that? Did you listen to that? It's so true. He's saying about that. No mother, no father, we lonely. Okay? He said his stomach is ground like an AMG going to bed. They're hungry. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, I know like 80% of the people watching this right now, they don't even know what that means at all. They're able to pick and choose what they want to eat that their mom and dad gives them for dinner and whine about it. Okay, we're talking about going to bed hungry, like truly hungry, not that you want a snack. Okay, when you feel like that, you're going to do what you have to do to survive. You're going to take what you want, and then hence everything else follows. You know, then you have crime rates and this and hey, especially if you're a little bit older, you got kids, you got mouths to feed, stuff like that. I mean, this is how stuff happens. It's the reason, it's the why. You know what I mean? Where am I at here? All right, let's go.
Report live from the other side of America.
Let's just back that up to the year.
We home. Mommy at work, daddy he dead, nigga, we home. Stomach growling like an LG going to bed, we home. Uzi on me, all my friends are dead, nigga, we home.
Report live from the other side of America.
Pulling live from the other side. Same corner where my brothers died. Living like we ain't got care. Told my mama I ain't dying here. 40 on me, I ain't buying beer. Ain't have a wheel, now I'm flying Lear. Bunch of fellas on the jet with me. Make a movie like it's Con Air. Started off in the basement, now it's rooftops in LeBron Air. Still fighting over cases, I don't bet.
Basically, he just said, yo, now he's flying Lear, like Lear jets. You know, he told his mom he ain't dying here. You know what I mean? He got a 40 on him, but he don't buy a beer. It means he stays strapped. But he's flying, you know, Lear jets. He got so many fellas with him from his days that had been gone through, locked up and through crimes or whatever it is. They're flying like Con Air. And they used to be in the basements. Now they're on the rooftops, and LeBron is there. It just shows you, you know, the difference between what he went through in the early days, you know, to just survive the block for the week to what he's doing now.
Bunch of fellas on the jet with me. Make a movie like it's Con Air. Started off in the basement, now it's rooftops in LeBron Air. Still fighting over cases, I don't bail, nigga, but it's my year. Summertime, it get cold out. Heater on me like a mind clear. Closet bigger than my old house. Thinking about it, I was fine there. Came in the dirt.
He said the closet is bigger than his old house. Okay? That's how big his closet is. Now, if it was a row home, I can understand that. You know what I mean? But he said the closet is bigger than his old house, and he was fine there. Meaning, hey, listen, he was fine where he used to live. Okay? This is all great. You know what I mean? But he don't need it. And I believe it. And that rhymed.
Dedicated, I was making it work. Medicated, I was taking them perks. Devastated when my niggas got murked. Educated, had to get to it first. I knew trapping it'll get me in jail. Playing with pistols, it'll give me a hearse. But I ain't give a fuck. Send me to church. Yeah, they gotta catch me in traffic. I ain't with none of this rat shit. I've been trying to run from these caskets. All of this pain, but then me, nigga, you don't want none of this action. Go get some money and feed your fam, cause this is a fucking disaster. Yeah.
See, he's talking to shit now. You know, talking about that pain. Now, we all got pain in the different ways and all that kind of stuff. But imagine, you know, having that pain constantly, living through that, and watching people die all the time, and that you don't. He's basically, you don't want none of that action. He has the pain. If he snaps, you don't want none of that action. You know what I mean? And it's so true. You know what I mean? That's why you try to treat everybody with respect every single day. You know, have some class. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what the other person is going through. You don't know what it's taken them to get from point A to point B for the people that have at least tried to get to point B. And you don't know that pain, and you don't want any of that action.
Go get some money and feed your fam, cause this is a fucking disaster.
It is.
We ain't starving for 1,000 nights. Living like we trying to die tonight. Got 40 cent like dynamite. I was fucking up my car money. Selling soap like it's China White. OG said you fucking a block up. I was mad, I was trying to fight. Nigga, we home. Mommy at work, daddy he dead. Nigga, we home. Stomach growling like an LG going to bed. We home. Uzi on me, all my friends are dead. Nigga, we home.
Report live from the other side of America.
Hear that?
I always dreamed too of being like on
I remember
like
this.
CNN and being able to express myself and speak for like the voiceless young men of America. The first step I would say, I grew up in America in a ruthless neighborhood where we're not protected by police. We grow up in ruthless environments. We grow up around murder. You see murder. You see 7 people die a week. I think you would probably carry a gun yourself. Would you?
Yeah, I probably would.
See, Why do I gotta do that? Why do I gotta make all white people sound that way? White people don't sound that way. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's almost like it's one of them things that it just really irritates you. You know, it's kind of like, hey, give it a rest already. You know what I mean? Like, enough's enough. Whatever. It's garbage. That part of it is garbage. Anyway, that's over. So, listen. That was that, right? Great song. Love it. A lot of energy, emotion, whatever. I love bumping it. I'm max volume on that thing, and you know, and I try to relate to it because I know that, you know, it's not easy. You know what I mean? I'm older now. I got a family of my own. But the bottom line is there were a lot of years where, you know, trying to come up, that it's just life hands you a lot of obstacles. You know, we all handle them differently. So anyway, listen, hope you enjoyed it. It's my first one back, so I gotta jump back into this. So listen, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. You know how it is. I think I got like 90-something subs. It'd be nice to get over 100. And we're gonna keep pumping them out. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Let it go, let it go. Эй, Хью Хафнер, Хью Хафнер, Бля, у меня голос охрип.